Well, good morning, everyone. This is Christine Robinson, Mayor of West Grey, and welcome to our May 26, 2020 special meeting of West Grey Council. We are using audio only to conduct this electronic meeting. Video is not possible at this time due to limited bandwidth in some areas of West Grey. Bandwidth is challenging our ability to do a complete video broadcast, so for now, we'll be sharing today's agenda in addition to this audio. On item 1, I'm calling this meeting to order. All members of council are present as indicated through their log-on. We have a quorum. The agenda has been posted and circulated. The meeting is being recorded and will be posted on the West Grey website, www.westgrey.com. The technology for this meeting is being managed by staff. Please refrain from clicking buttons throughout the meeting unless prompted. So before we continue on, I'd ask our Recreation Supervisor, Cody Hewlett, to provide an overview of some of the other key points for this meeting. Supervisor Hewlett, please.
Good morning. If you get disconnected at any time during this meeting, you can dial 1-647-558-0588 and enter the meeting ID 825-1352-0515. Both members of council and staff have been briefed on the various features of the Zoom meeting software and will be using the raise their hand function to speak. Members of council will be using the green check mark to vote in favor of a motion and the red X button to vote against a motion. Each member of council will then be called upon verbally to confirm their vote for the benefit of any guests who have called in rather than joining us online. If you have any technical issues during the meeting, you can send a chat message to myself, Cody Hewlett, Recreation Supervisor, and I will be able to assist you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We're moving on to item 2, Declaration of Pecuniary Interest, Direct or Indirect. Members of council, are there any declarations of pecuniary interest? If so, please indicate by raising your hand. Deputy Mayor Hutchinson, please.
Thank you, Mayor Robinson. Excuse me, this is Deputy Mayor Hutchinson. I need to declare an interest in the closed session item that you're going into, so I will excuse myself from the portion of the meeting.
Thank you.
And Mayor Robinson, I have filed or have sent a copy of that into the CAO as well as Clerk Turner.
Well, thank you very much. Your declaration is noted for that item, and I appreciate that you've already declared that you filled out the appropriate form and submitted it. Thank you. We'll move on. We are on item 3, comment period. So Supervisor Hewlett, have you received any emails, phone calls, or correspondence submitted in our Dropbox pertaining to this comment period?
We have not received any comments through any of the modes. If we did receive any at this time, they would have been read. However, there will be a time later in the agenda for any members of the public who have a question during item 7, the question period.
Yes, very good. And thank you for that. We are moving on to item 4, the closed session. I am noting Deputy Mayor Tom Hutchinson's declared pecuniary interest on this. So for this, Clerk Turner, could you please read the motion?
Whereas the Municipal Act SO 2001, Section 239, brackets 2 as amended, authorizes councils of municipalities to close to the public a meeting or part of a meeting for dealing with certain subject matters. Now therefore be it resolved that the Council of the Municipality of West Grey is now going to closed session at 9:06 a.m. with the CEO, Clerk, Director of Infrastructure and Public Works, Manager Planning and Development, Chief Building Official, Administrative Assistant Clerk's Office, and Greg Stewart, Donnelly Murphy Lawyers, to discuss an item that relates to litigation or potential litigation, including matters before administrative tribunals affecting the municipality or local board, and advice that is subject to solicitor-client privilege including communications necessary for that purpose. And both of those items relate to discussion that will be held in closed session relating to the Ayton Mill Pond.
Thank you. Is there a mover for this motion? Councillor Townsend, are you moving this motion?
Councillor Townsend, yes, I'm moving the motion.
Councillor Hutchinson, are you seconding this motion?
Councillor Hutchison, yes, I second the motion.
Okay, all members of council, do you have any questions on this motion? If not, just clear your board then at this point. Thank you. Now I am calling the motion, recognizing the Deputy Mayor has a conflict on this. All those in favor, pardon me, please indicate with a check mark. Those opposed, please indicate with an X mark. All right, I will begin. As Mayor, I am in favor of this motion. Councillor Townsend, state your name and how you are voting.
Councillor Townsend, in favor.
Councillor Hergert, state your name and how you are voting.
Councillor Hergert, yes.
Councillor Shea, state your name and how you are voting.
Councillor Shea, yes.
Councillor Hamilton, state your name and how you are voting.
Councillor Hamilton, yes.
Councillor Hutchinson, state your name and how you are voting.
Councillor Hutchison, in favor.
The motion does carry. We are going in camera. So members of council, you'll see a box that says, please go into the boardroom. Thank you. Hello, everyone. We are now back in public session. I'm looking to the clerk for a motion here and then a mover and seconder. Oh, I guess first I'd like to have an acknowledgement that all members of council are here, including Deputy Mayor. So could you please provide a check mark on your dashboard? So I'm seeing myself, Councillor Hamilton, Councillor Hutchinson, Councillor Hergert, Councillor Townsend, Councillor Shea, and Deputy Mayor. Thank you very much. We're all here. Please clear the dashboard. Now I'm looking at the clerk to read the motion.
Be it resolved that the Council of the Municipality of West Grey hereby returns to open session of council at 10:47 a.m.
I'm looking for a mover and a seconder, please, for this motion. Councillor Hergert, are you moving this motion?
Councillor Hergert, yes, I am.
Councillor Hamilton, are you seconding this motion?
Councillor Hamilton, I second the motion.
Questions or comments? All those in favor, please signify with a check mark. Not in favor with an X mark. Beginning with myself, I am saying that I'm in favor of the motion. Councillor Townsend, state your name and how you are voting.
Councillor Townsend, in favor.
Councillor Hergert, state your name and how you are voting.
Councillor Hergert, yes.
Councillor Shea, state your name and how you are voting.
Councillor Shea, yes.
Councillor Hamilton, state your name and how you are voting.
Councillor Hamilton, yes.
Councillor Hutchinson, state your name and how you are voting.
Councillor Hutchison, yes.
Motion does carry. We are now in public session. So please clear your dashboard. So I do want to say, as mayor, the only item that we went in camera for was the only item that we did discuss. So on item 5, matters arising from closed session, that is an NA. So members of council, a couple things. First of all, I'm going to suggest that we take lunch at 12:30. I wonder if you could just indicate if that would work for you by a check mark. I'm thinking maybe a half an hour. Okay, great. So that dispenses with that. activity. My next request is that we take a 10-minute break. We'll come back at 11 o'clock. I just think we need a break before we go into item 6, staff report, which is the fire chief. However, the clerk has a comment. Oh, okay. So rather, now the clerk is suggesting something a little different from what I've said. We will take a break following the conclusion of this special council meeting. I did have a discussion with him and it was thought that we'd take the break now, but let's proceed through the balance of the special council meeting. Would that be acceptable to all members of council that we finish this special council meeting and then take a 10-minute break after? Okay, check marks are great. X marks if that's how you feel as well. All right. All right, so let's proceed. We seem to have everybody in agreement with that. We're moving on to item 6, staff report. We have one, which is the other purpose of the special council meeting. The fire chief regarding purchase of the triple combination pumper for fire station number 3. I'm going to start with Chief Schwartz. Could you provide some presentation, please?
You can hear me? Yep.
Yes, we can.
Okay.
Please proceed.
All right. I'd like to take just a minute to thank everybody for allowing me to speak today. I realize it's not a regular council meeting, so but anyways, the truck RFPs are time sensitive because there's stock models and models that are in production right now. One of the ones that actually was sent to me last week has already been sold, so that's how they quickly go. So anyways, we've gone through them all. I put all some of the main points we were asking for on the spreadsheet. I trust everybody's read the report and seen the spreadsheet. So the one I'm recommending is the Fort Garry. It is on a Freightliner chassis, triple combination pumper. It is similar to the truck that's sitting in Durham right now that we bought back in 2005 from American LaFrance. Basically, it comes right down to it. We're looking at a cost before taxes of $393,000. That is actually one of the lowest bids that we had. That truck seems to have a lot more stuff we requested on it that didn't have to be added. Under the total cost, you're going to see add-ons. That is for things that we requested that they didn't have on their specs. If you go across that line, you'll see some of them require them. On that $393,000, I'm going to ask for a bit of a cushion because I think we were discussing here this morning we should be buying some 2.5-inch hose for it. The hose that's on the other pumper right now, we did some testing last year. It's starting to separate between the liner and the outer jacket, which that means the hose fails. So we lost about 7 or 8 lengths last year, so this year it'll be worse. So I know we're going to have to replace some of that, and there is a monitor nozzle we're going to have to put on this truck. Other than that, if everybody's read the presentation that I had there, any questions I can answer. If anybody wants to see the RFP, it is sitting here on my desk, as are the other ones here in a box on the floor. But anyways, Yep. So go ahead.
I do want to say well done. I think that is a very good news story. You certainly know your rolling stock, my goodness. So thank you for that. At this point, I'm going to have the clerk read the motion, ask for a mover and seconder, and then have questions from our members of council, as per how we normally have been doing the procedure. Clerk Turner.
Be it resolved that the Council of the Municipality of West Grey hereby approves the tender for the triple combination pumper from Fort Garry Fire Truck Manufacturing of Winnipeg, Manitoba, in the amount of $393,770 plus applicable taxes, with a projected delivery date of November 2020.
Okay, if you are going to move the motion, it's a check mark, and second it is a check mark. And then questions. So I'm going to say how it came up really quick. Councillor Hamilton, are you moving this motion?
Councillor Hamilton, I move the motion.
And Councillor Hutchinson, are you seconding this motion?
Councillor Hutchison, I second the motion.
All right, now questions, and I see that Councillor Townsend has his hand up. So Councillor Townsend.
Yes, it's Councillor Townsend. Just one question after I say congratulations on it, because when I look at it, it seems to be equal, or in some cases even better than the other options that were before us. The only one that kind of jumped out was the water tank capacity, which seems quite a bit lower than some of the others. Does any of that concern you, Chief Swartz?
No, it is. It's 1,000 gallon US, and it works out to about 800 and change for Imperial. Presently, our pumpers all run around 800 gallons. So when you get up over 1,000, you're getting into tankers. So yeah, it is. It's comparable to what we have right now.
Super. Thank you. That was my only question.
Any other members of council have a question? Councillor Hergert.
Chief Schwartz, you had just mentioned that you needed a bit of a cushion, that the 393, 770, you might need more. Is that something you're going to find in your budget, or you needed this motion to be more for the hose and so on?
Well, we're not sure this time. With every other truck we've bought, we've had a few add-ons after we've ordered the truck. So I'm looking, it could go up by $20,000 if I put hose in that on it, which is not part of the manufacturer. That's an extra we buy, but we financed the last truck we did. We financed that extra equipment with the truck.
So what I'd say to that is, Director Mighton, is that something that would have to be put in a future motion? How would that work procedurally, Director Mighton?
Yeah, this motion is fine. This is to award the RFP for the actual truck purchase. We do have room within our overall budgeted truck amount that with any of the additional equipment that needs to be put on, like the hose for that. So it would just be, we originally had $560,000 in our budget for the new truck. So we've got room within there to add on any of the equipment and attachments that he might need on there.
Okay.
Thank you for that. Go ahead, Councillor Hergert.
Yeah, actually, thank you very much, Chief and Carrie. Thanks for that information. But Chief, this is a very good report, and I do appreciate all the level of detail that you went to. So thank you very much for that. I'm very supportive. Yep.
Great.
Thank
Further
you.
questions from members of council? I think I'm at the point where I could call the question. All right, all those in favor of the motion, please signify with a check mark. Those opposed with an X mark. As mayor, I am voting in favor of this motion. Councillor Hutchinson, state your name and how you are voting.
Councillor Hutchison, in favor.
Councillor Hamilton, state your name and how you are voting.
Councillor Hamilton, yes.
Deputy Mayor Hutchinson, state your name and how you are voting.
Deputy Mayor Hutchinson, in favor.
Councillor Shea, state your name and how you are voting.
Councillor Shea, yes.
Councillor Hergert, state your name and how you are voting.
Councillor Hergert, yes.
Councillor Townsend, state your name and how you are voting.
Councillor Townsend, in favor.